Now, this guy is very, very funny, very talented. But he said, this is his intro, and I don't buy it. He said if talent were a mode of transportation, he'd be a car fire on the side of the road. No, let's hear it for Joe. Come on, let's hear it for Joe.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for sticking around this long. I know we're all tired. I'm tired. That's my posse over there, my crew. The one thing I've heard, a little in social situations, an argument, a discussion, what's better?
Yeah.
Relationship sex or one-night stand sex, right? To me, it's no question. Clearly, one-night stand sex, right? That's where you're free. You're doing kinky things. Relationship sex, I'm usually wearing a Snuggie. We're still like half watching the TV, and we're talking about it. Did Emily just get fired? She moved all the way to Paris. It's almost like a chore, right? Taking out the trash. But the one advantage is you don't need a plastic bag, right? So I was talking to my buddy the other day about the one that got away, the whole thing about the one that got away. You know, that one person in your past that like you should have gotten with, but it was just bad timing or whatnot. He's like, oh, I had one of those. I'm like, oh, really? I didn't know you had a girlfriend. He's like, no, not a girlfriend. She got a new pimp. I couldn't afford her new rates. He's my sleazy friend, right? We all have like that one sleazy friend. He's like the guy that shows up to a party with a 5-pack because he drank a beer on the way over. He's that friend that's like always asking if you're gonna finish that. You gonna finish that? I haven't even started yet, buddy. You know what I'm talking about. He's like that one friend that'll just fart mid-conversation. Like it's some social norm. He's like, yeah, the other day I was talking to my mom. Yeah, we all got that friend. So, I've noticed, you know, the world's changing. Things are changing. Even going to the supermarket, right? Totally different world now. I go in there, I can't even find a parking spot. Right? I go in, it's like, oh, there's a spot. Oh, no, that's EV only. Oh, no, there's a spot. Online order only. Like, COVID's over. We're still doing that? Then they got the mother expecting. I'm like, what, she can't walk? But then I finally think I see a spot, and it's like, oh, father expecting. Like, what do we care about him for? You know, you go in the supermarket, though, different, completely different. You go to checkout. I went to checkout the other day, a whole cart full of stuff. And I'm like, oh, I didn't know where to go. The manager's like, right this way, sir. Like, there's nobody there. He's like, oh, no, we're all self-checkout now. Like, self-checkout? What, am I going to slice my own deli meats, round up the carts on my way out now? I miss the days. That was my favorite part of the day. Those 10 minutes, the woman's ringing your stuff up, the zitty teenager's like, paper or plastic, sir? I'm there reading the National Enquirer, like, look at this. Elvis spotted on the moon. How'd he get there? Now I'm like having to spend an hour scanning my own products, right? Scanning coupons, entering in vegetable codes. I gotta call in a price check. The other day out there, the intercom, he was like, clean up on aisle 3. The manager came over, he was like, Joe, can you get that? I got some customers here. It feels like I work there. But I am going back Friday. It's Frank's birthday. We're having cake. You know, on a different note. So, we've come a long way in this country, right, with racism. Right? We're moving past it. You know, some people will say, oh, we had a black president, Barack Obama, right? Racism's over. No, racism's still alive. To me, one of the biggest achievements, though, is when we fired a white guy and we hired a black guy to be Jake from State Farm, right? I don't even know any black guy named Jake. Should be Jamal from State Farm. But they had this perfectly good commercial, right? Probably remember. The wife comes down. She's like, who are you talking to on the phone? It's 3 a.m. He's like, I'm talking to Jake from State Farm. She's like, oh, what are you wearing, Jake from State Farm? So they kept that part, replaced the second half with a black guy. And I thought, you know what, we're making a lot of progress here. We're one step closer to being comfortable with a black Santa. Yes, we can. A black Batman. Yes, we can. Maybe even a black James Bond. Sorry if I got a little weird there. So I got a dog during COVID. Anybody any dog? I saw dog back there. Is that a COVID dog?
Yeah.
Nice. COVID was a tough time to get a dog, right? Because everybody wanted a dog. And I was one of them. But I lived in an apartment. So I wasn't like, they wanted families, backyard, a house. So it was tough. I had an agent on Pet Finder I was working with. She was like, Joe, we got a 3-year-old black lab. This thing can fetch, it can run, it can paw, it can do it all. I'm like, I'll take it. Oh, you got denied. She calls me up. Okay, I want to apply for, we got a 6-year-old German Shepherd. Former police dog, bit a kid once, reform now. I'll take it. Oh, you got denied. About 3 months later, it was slim pickings out there. She calls me up. She's like, all right, we got a 3-legged blind dog. It's about 10, probably a couple months to live. I'll take it. Denied. Finally, though, I did get my dog. Cutie patootie, Watkins, little pit bull mix. And I heard somebody complain to me once. They're like, why do people treat their pets like their kids? I was like, I don't know. But I treat mine like my son. I tell him he's lazy and he's never going to amount to much. It's true. But no, since I got him, he's a little out of shape. I got him running, got him hiking. I take him to the dog park. We're doing frisbee. The dog has abs now. He stands up on his high leg. He looks like an Australian kangaroo. I was like, we got to dial it back, buddy. You're looking better than me out there. We're very close, though. We're very close. I take him everywhere I can. And then we've started to become a little in sync, right? He'll get a little itch on his back, and I'm like, oh, I got a little itch on my back. He'll get hungry, and I'm like, you know what? I'm kind of hungry, too. The other day, he went too far, though. I caught him humping the couch. I was like, hey, buddy, let me finish first, then you go. So, as we all know, as we get older, it's important to stay in shape, right? We got to eat right, we got to exercise. For me, though, I'm in the point in my life where the only exercise I do has to be something I can do with a can of beer, right? Mowing the lawn, can drink. Hiking, can drink. And softball. Softball's my main sport. Any softball people here? Adult recreational softball, right? It's not really highly respected. But I love it. It's the only sport where the top athletes can be 50 pounds overweight, right? Wear a knee brace and say things like, oh, I'm up to bat here, hold my beer. The official sports drink of adult rec softball is Fireball. It's true. I don't know what it is about Fireball. You guys are probably seeing the same things I am. The streets are littered with those little airplane shots of Fireball. It's like, is everybody just sucking down Xanax, Adderall, and Fireball to get through their day? Or maybe it's just me. I don't know. I'm the only one. But no, I take it seriously, adult softball. I go to the batting cages. You ever go to the batting cages as an adult? They look at you weird. Right? I walk in, the guy's like, oh, is your son coming? No. Daughter? No. One of those hybrids? No. But I almost went pro. In adult softball. Problem is I blew out my liver. That's the story. Relationships. I assume we got some in here. You two, married couple here, right? I've been in about 3 long-term relationships in my life. First one, she owned an apartment, or she lived in an apartment, I moved in with her. Second one, she owned a condo, moved in with her. My current one, she owns a house. So I'm doing pretty well for myself. In about 15 years, I went from apartment to condo to house, right? My next girl, I'm hoping for a pool. I work hard. I feel like I deserve a pool. But we decided we were going to get tattoos one day. We're like, let's get tattoos, and we'll pick the location and the type on each other's body. So I picked a nice little angel. Thought, I'm going to go with an angel right on your shoulder. Pretty sexy, right? She was like, I'm going to go with wording across your heart. I was like, oh, that's sweet. It said, do not resuscitate. Right? True story. Take my shirt off. But when you start in a relationship, you start doing those cute things, right? You're like, you tell each other your number. What's your number? I added 5, right? Most guys add 5. She added 10, I didn't ask any follow-up questions. And then we did the whole hall pass, like that one person, it's not cheating. So I picked Margot Robbie. I was like, I'm going to aim high. I'll probably even leave you for her if that even happens. Like, who's yours? She's like, I'm going to go with John from work. The guy you work with, John, that should not count. I feel like you're just setting this up so you can sleep with him. And if I happen to find out, you're like, hall pass. Plus, didn't you already sleep with John from work? She's like, no, that was Pete. All right, Pete. I get those two mixed up all the time. So there was this UCLA study done that said that a lot of kids, teenagers these days, they don't want to see sex as much in the movies anymore. The streaming movies, the shows, they don't like that. And I'm like, well, that makes sense, right? These kids have access to whatever porn, whatever freaky stuff they're into on the internet. They don't need that. To them, it's not even sex. They're watching these sex scenes in the movies. They're like, that's not even his stepmom. How is the sex? Where's the money shot after a 20-minute blowjob? Like, this is not sex to me. When I was a teenager, that's the reason we went to the movies. Right? It was either, when we were deciding on movies to go to, we're like, this one may have boobs, this one no boobs. We're going with the boobs. What I like about porn, though, porn follows wherever technology goes, right? So now technology is going virtual reality. Virtual reality, porn follows, right? So I was at my buddy's house. He's like, Joe, you got to check out this virtual reality porn. I'm like, all right. I put the headset on. First of all, I'm enamored. I'm in this virtual room right now, right? There's a naked woman in front of me. I'm looking around at everything else. I'm like, oh, you're reading Wuthering Heights? I love that book. I didn't picture you for a bookworm. She's like, oh, baby. Oh. I'm like, oh, those blinds. Those would look amazing over my credenza. They do this thing, though, if anybody, I won't ask anybody here, but they've watched virtual porn. They like to do this thing where they put the camera right up to their vagina, just kind of simulate like you're going down on them, right? So now I'm looking around, but finally she caught my attention. I'm like, whoa, honey, you are crowning. Let's get you to the hospital. All right, that's my time, folks. Thank you. Thanks for waiting around. Thanks to my posse over here. And we're Scotty.